Good morning, everyone. Here we are. It's the Fruit Nut News on, of course, the 8th today. The 8th. How are we doing, guys? Are we all okay? So, 10 a.m. in the morning, Sunday the 8th. And, yeah, very, very interesting. If you can work out what's going on, let me know. Let me know. I wouldn't say I've not got a Scooby, but let me tell you, I don't think I have a Scooby. So, good morning, everyone. Hope we're all okay. It is, of course, the 8th, Sunday, the 8th of the 3rd, 2026. Quick hello to everybody while we're here. Looney Lena's first into today. Very, very interesting. Jan H is in, Chris Taylor, Angela Davis, Jill's in, Brian's in, Natalie Bowen's in. Well, Scott Dine Williamson in, Yvonne Keely's joining us, Sharon Young, Anne in, Dave Hunter's in, Kelly Close is in, who else have we got? Let's have a look. Vanessa's in, Joyce is in, and yes, a nice little 16 today. Nice 16, number 16. So, the big question is, what is going on? Let me tell you, if you can follow what's going on, fucking hell, you're a better person than I am, because it's full of absolute contradictions. Absolute contradictions, ladies and gentlemen, from the things that are happening, you know, the Trump administration, the Epstein files, what else have we got? We got, of course, what's happened to the war in Ukraine. We now got a war in Iran. What else have we got? Oh, we've got China's being threatened. Russia's being threatened. No idea what's happened to Zelensky. Unbelievable. It's just an absolute mess. What an absolute mess. I don't really know about the plan. I really don't know about the plan. What's the fucking plan? But, it certainly is very, very interesting. Now, it's clear this morning that Laura Klunsberg, which is the BBC political programme, they fucking got no idea what's going on. They're blaming Iran, trying to, they're blaming, this is amazing, they're blaming Iran for the fact that Israel and America bombed Iran. So, I don't quite know how that works, really. But anyway, it's just BBC, BBC rhetoric. I just don't know. There's so many contradictions that are knocking about in the news feeds that you can draw all sorts of conclusions, let's give you an example. Let me give you an example. So we had the man of peace, Donald Trump. I like to negotiate everything. I like to do a peace deal. I like to talk about stuff. I like to do this. I like to do that. I like to do the other. Then, of course, goes and bombs the fuck out of Iran. Has Donald Trump done like a 180? Has he done a 180 or what? Because it seems to me like he's doing exactly the opposite of what he was doing maybe a week ago. And there's a conclusion there. Could this actually be the Donald Trump number 2, the one that we don't want? I just don't know. It's incredible. And then we've got, everybody knows everybody knows that Israel is of course responsible for 9/11, the assassination of JFK, with a few other people as well. But it's fundamentally Israel that's causing the problems. We've got reports coming in that Israel were bombing Dubai, right? And then obviously blaming Iran for that, which that is basically like the Israeli MO. That's what they do. I mean, when we look at what happened with Hamas, we clearly, was it the 7th of the 7th? I can't remember now. I can't remember the dates, but anyway, we had the Israeli Iron Dome was turned off. Hamas, who are funded by, of course, Israel, attack Israel. That then gives Israel the excuse to go and bomb the shit out of Palestine, which, of course, as we well know, resulted in, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of casualties. So, so the Dubai bombing by Israel could be. I think, and there was a couple of guys. They were saying that if Iran had bombed Dubai, the bombs should be coming from over there. Unfortunately, the bombs were coming from over there, pointing to a ship offshore. Who that ship is, nobody knows. So it's very interesting. And of course, what's happening now, as you see, of course, Iran is reminding everybody of Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay, and you know, like I said, we've got this Donald Trump character, whoever he happens to be, basically coming out and saying, that there is no plan to change the regime in Iran. So if you are bombing Iran for regime change, then how do you expect that regime change to come about? And who is that regime change going to be? And if you haven't got a plan for that, okay, then it sort of leaves a lot of questions. And I think this is where people are. I think people generally are very, very confused. I think even the MAGA people are now wondering what the fuck is going on. I really do think they are. And then I was thinking out loud last night while I'd had a couple of glasses of wine, because my brain gets into gear when that starts kicking in. So I wondered if Iran was being used to clean out the cabal. Now, we know that Iran is sat on a Stargate, and we know that Stargate was taken over. We know that Stargate was taken over thousands of years ago by dark forces that were then able to control the planet. So Iran is one of the main Stargates that create the energy that basically goes out into the ley lines. Now, we told you that we did some work in Wales on the ley lines above the Ark of the Covenant. Now, it seems to me that that's kind of what's happening. Now, I wonder if Iran has been taken over, let's say, by some good forces, including maybe off-world stuff, I'm not quite sure, don't really know, or certainly higher technology. And Iran are basically now sort of changing the energy on the planet by clearing all the cabal out. Now, we know the cabal are dead deep, the deep state and all that kind of thing, etc., etc. And also as well, we're getting conflicting reports about the damage that's been done to America. America are telling everyone that there's only, I think it's 6 people. There's only 6 people have died in this war, right? Now, we've had reports that military hospitals have been flooded with 1,000 plus service personnel. I think it was, I'm not sure whether it was in Germany. Apparently one of the military hospitals had to shut because it was influxing so many people. So it's just to try and get your head around and work out what's going on. It is rather a great task, so they say. Very interesting. Anyway, now on the BBC this morning, it's absolute madness. They've got all these people on, and they're just absolutely calling for war. War, 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 war. Die, 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 die. Death, 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 death. But you see, that's their MO. That's what they do. I actually don't think that we're going to get any resemblance of the truth until, of course, the mainstream media gets shut off. Like how that's going to happen, when it's going to happen, I don't know. They're also already now predicting, I know that fuel has gone up near us. I think it's 4 pence a litre in the last couple of days, maybe probably even more today. They're now talking up, oh, energy prices have got to go up, fuel's got to go up, etc., etc. I mean, the interesting part about it is that HMS Dragon, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but HMS Dragon is apparently sailing today after some very, I don't know what you'd call it, a very hesitant, manoeuvres. I mean, by the time HMS Dragon gets into position, the war might probably be over. Fingers crossed, of course. So that's interesting. Now, the other thing as well, of course, is has America totally fucked up and underestimated the strength of Iran? And if they have, the question remains on that one, why? Why have they totally underestimated Iran? Bear in mind, of course, that the American military is supposed to be the greatest force on the planet, and yet they seem to have been knocked into oblivion. That's interesting, isn't it? And going back to what I said about Iran getting rid of the deep state in the West, okay, Russia and China are backing Iran. Now, this is going to sound a bit weird after all of this shit that we've been told in regards to these countries, which I don't think is true for 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. But maybe Russia and China, okay, maybe Russia and China are going with Iran, are going to clean out the deep state, because I don't really see how the deep state can be cleaned out from within. And from an American point of view, not a British, just put the British aside for the minute. From an American point of view, it would seem from the actions of Mr. Trump that now Mr. Trump is actually being run by Israel. Now, in the Q-drops, they always said that Israel will be last. Now, we of course assumed it was actually Israel, which it is. But has America been so compromised by the Israeli Zionists that that it's all been orchestrated, so to speak? Now we have Jared Kushner. See, this is another contradiction that it doesn't sit right with me. So we've got Jared Kushner. I think I mentioned this last night. Very strange character, Jared is. This is Donald Trump's son-in-law. Now, Ivanka Trump, which is Donald's daughter, married into Jared Kushner. Now, the Kushners are apparently a very influential family. I'm not too up to speed on the Kushners, and I'm not really bothered. But, okay, the Trumps, of course, have got an alliance with not, of course, Jared Kushner. Now, isn't it interesting that Jared Kushner is at the forefront of all of the negotiations? Have you noticed this? So Jared is the peace deal in Ukraine, peace deal in Israel, peace deal in fucking everything. He's also involved in real estate building. Apparently Palestine is going to be turned into a smart city. Now, we all fucking know about smart cities, don't we? Very interesting. Connected to Palantir. Palantir, you say? Where have I heard that name? Well, Palantir, of course, is the company that is supplying Tony Blair's son with all of the infrastructure for the British digital ID. Now you know that one. So all these people that we know and that we see, and we think that there is no connection. However, there is a fucking massive connection between all of them. I would say that we, okay, as people on this channel, I would say that we have our freedom. These people don't have their freedom. They are told what to do, what to call the children, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So, yeah. So George Kushner. Now, going back to George. Now, George is technically a civilian. He's never been approved by anybody. So how has he managed all of a sudden to get into this position of power and this position of influence in regards to, well, all kinds of things? I mean, we've had the what's the thing, the peace people, you know, the Summit of Peace, or whatever they call it, the Board of Peace. I mean, what's all that about? The Board of Peace. And of course, you know, the Trumps and the Clintons and the Obamas and the Bushes, and of course, you know, we look at the British governmental system. And of course, it's clearly all connected in one way, shape or form. I don't actually think we have any democracy. I think it's just a clown show, and it's certainly being shown to be a clown show at the moment. I mean, we had Keir Starmer yesterday at some Muslim infidelity, whatever they call it, and he was getting proper stroked up by the Palestinian ambassador. I mean, I'm not being funny, but they were like having dry sex on stage. It was like, it was I was embarrassed watching it. It was like, you know, the Palestinian Prime Minister rubbing his arm and they're getting the crotches into one another. You know, it was unbelievable to watch. Unbelievable. And, again, when we come back to, controversial stuff, the Epstein files, okay, the Epstein files. I mean, you know, this is either being covered up or for whatever reason, somebody somewhere along the line is being protected. I mean, we've still only got one female that's been arrested, apparently, according to what we can actually see. We've had evidence of what's his name, King Dick, Epstein. We've had evidence of Epstein knocking around Israel. Which is probably very, very possible that could happen. And so, you know, what information is in the Epstein files that it can't be, you know, first of all, I mean, like I said, we've had this man telling us that the JFK files would come out, the Epstein files would come out, the truth about 9/11 would come out, the truth about aliens would come out, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, you know, we've got all these U-turns being done. You know, the Epstein files were redacted, you know, so nobody knew what they were. Then, of course, there was only a portion of that came out. And then some more files were released, and we're looking at 2 years. 2 years of the files were missing. And then, of course, we've had the news that there are more files on the way, and these files are even more damning, apparently, than before. So, like I say, there is so much controversial stuff happening. It's rather difficult to keep, not only to keep track of it, but also, of course, to try and make head and tail of it. So my advice to anybody that is either on this journey or just starting the journey or in the middle of the journey or, you know, coming to the end of the journey, is basically just sit back, you know, at 40,000 feet and watch all this play out. Because I think I think at the moment that really is the best policy to be able to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? I really, really do. Now, I have got some interesting news, if you didn't find all that lot interesting. Oh, and of course, you know, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, you know, all them questions, Keir Starmer, Tony Blair, you know, all them questions. You know, Tony Blair on the board of peace. I mean, fucking hell. Fucking hell. Anyway, a little bit of very interesting news for you. Now, there happens to be a ship that is sailing today, apparently a warship. It's taken a few days, apparently, to get it stocked up with margarine and a bit of sugar. And the ship is called HMS Dragon. And on the front of it is a red dragon. Well, of course, because it's called the Red Dragon. But here's some interesting little should we say interesting little facts. Now, today is, of course, the 8th of March, and the HMS Dragon will be sailing on the 8th of March. Now, did you know that today marks 42 months of the reign of King Charles? Wow, 42 months, the reign of King Charles. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Now, it gets even better because 42 in Gematria just equals war. Okay, so there you go. Now, here's another interesting little fact. Yesterday, a football team called Wrexham played a game of football, and it was actually 4-2. What's funny about that, Mark? Well, interestingly enough, the team called Wrexham, which is Wrexham, if you take the word Rex, R-E-X, it actually equals king. What king are we talking about, Mark? Well, we could be talking about the king. The king. King Charles, of course. Now, King Charles has had a massive setback. He's not going to be able to go to the USA. No real mention of why, but, of course, a setback. He has been set back. Very interesting. Remember, it's all in the wording. Now, on the front of HMS Dragon happens to be a red Welsh dragon. Ooh, what's interesting about that, Mark? Well, let me tell you what's interesting about that. Okay? You probably don't want to know what's interesting about it, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Now, the Welsh dragon is commonly known with Wales, or associated with Wales, isn't it? Can you remember this? Now, who happens to be the Prince of Wales? Oh, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Yes, it happens to be William. William happens to be the Prince of Wales. Oh, that's interesting. Now, why would that be interesting? Well, Prince William has a daughter called Charlotte. And have you ever heard of a book called Charlotte's Web? It's about a spider. Very interesting. Think Spectre. Think James Bond. Think whatever you fucking like. Okay? So, Prince William. Now, the headline is, The Dragon Departs Today. Ooh. Now, what does depart mean? Well, set sail. Oh, depart. Now, could departure, where is he departing to? Is he departing, i.e., he's going to die? Ooh, maybe not. Who knows? But if he does depart today, well, that could cause a massive load of grief for, of course, King Charles, who could die of a broken heart. Yes, very interesting. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that one in. All that information was courtesy of our friend John. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, my friend. And we will catch up later. Now, I will see you all again later. It is, of course, the 8th of the 3rd, so Sunday the 8th of the 3rd, 2026. Could this be the year? Could this be the year of new beginnings? Well, it seems like it to me. But anyway, we'll wait and see. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get myself off. Hope you all have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday roast, whatever you're doing, etc., etc., etc. And we will, of course, see you a bit later on. Yeah, take care. La 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 la. Oh, 33 people in the house. Look at that.